we have to shift that mindset ourselves. We have to work on our mindset and figure out what our customers have got saying in their heads to be able to adjust our point of sale, to be able to adjust what they think. So we've got to think about, well, how are they thinking about it once you've figured out how you're thinking about money and how that is affecting you and what you do.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? Just like last week, we're carrying on with the meditation at the end of the session. So, as I said last week, please don't forget that everything is in the show notes, links to book time with me, anything that's needed or anything I talk about is in the show notes. So you can go and look there afterwards. And whilst you're in the show notes, don't forget to leave me that 5-star review, those lovely comments. And if you wanted to check in with me, then email me at geraldine@mentoringwithgeraldine.biz. Because today we're talking about something that I don't normally talk about. I don't normally go into money blocks. It's not really a big one for me. I don't seem to have many money blocks, but I am noticing them with some of my mentees, not necessarily with them. Yes, we all have, I've got to get money off people and it's really hard to do. More with the people they're seeing, okay? And that things are slow. Things are traditionally slow in July, picking up again in August. So, but the money block there, because I think a lot of, there's media, there's all the changes in the world. But when people are talking down, things are going to happen. Well, things are happening. But this is going to happen. It's awful. We've got a cost of living crisis. The more you say it, thank you, media, the more likely it is that you will bring it about. Okay, that's manifestation. But manifestation is because you repeat something and you make it true because you go out of your way to create that. Okay, so I think a lot of these things we're creating ourselves, which in its turn creates money blocks. And a lot of people are really good at the money block discussion, and there's lots of people out there who are way better at it than me. But I thought, let's just go through some of these common pitfalls together. So we've got belief, haven't we? We've got our own beliefs. So, that I can't charge that. That's too much. And the other one that we hear that come from other people is you shouldn't profit from health. You shouldn't make a profit on products. We have to be transparent about where we make our profit and where we make our money. But I would say to people when they were buying product off me, I have a few people still buying product, but not a lot. And I say to them, this is the cost of your appointment and here's your product. You get it through the company and I make a kickback. You can buy it at the chemist if you want to. That's not a problem. But it is counted into part of my earnings to keep the cost of my appointments lower. That's the way I kept my appointments lower. And people would buy from me. And sometimes they say, oh, it's cheaper if I get it at blah, blah. I say, well, that's fine. You can go get it at blah, blah. I'd finish their appointment a little bit earlier. I've got to weigh up. That's how I make my money or I don't make my money. But I still have that hourly cost. We all have that, how much it costs to work in our business for 1 hour. But when we think about those costs, we work it all out. And then there's that, oh no, I can't charge that. Or there's the, you shouldn't, or I shouldn't, I can't, I won't. So what do we end up doing? We end up discounting, we end up overgiving, we end up underpricing. When we could flick that over, we can give the bonus. We keep the price the same, but we give the bonus. So we give them the PDF information, or we give them recipes that suit them, whatever it might be. We've created whatever it is, the recipe booklet. It's okay to give it to people. So let's not discount. Let's not take things away. Let's think about, how can I streamline? How can I make it easy for this person to see me? How can I make it a good thing for them? And so therefore they want to pay that price because they realize that I know what I'm doing and that I am of value to them. You don't have to discount yourself. You don't have to think I'm overcharging or I'm overgiving. It is what it is. There need to be some mathematics in the background there. This is probably why money blocks isn't my thing, because I'm like reality check people, whereas maybe people who work with money blocks aren't sort of quite so straight up. Reality check. Let's do this reality check and let's look at our pricing. Let's look at our competitors' pricing. Let's look at the overall pricing, and let's be realistic that prices are going up everywhere and we still have to pay our mortgage. We've still got bills to pay. How much should we be earning per hour as a baseline to cover costs? And you've got a really expensive education behind you that needs to be paid off, right? Now, the other thing is your money story. We all have a money story. So when my kids were little, I never knew what to say when I didn't want them to have something, right? So I didn't want them to have ice cream, or I didn't want to spend money on lollies or things that were going to ruin their teeth. I just go, I haven't got the money, I can't afford it. Whereas, of course, that's a total fib. I could have afforded an ice cream. I could have afforded an icy pole. I just didn't want them to have it. So it was kind of like the fastest thing. I haven't got the money on me. I can't afford it, can't have it. Rather than talking to them and going, you know what? If we have the ice cream now, it's going to ruin our dinner. Or, okay, you can have the ice cream, but you have to do this, that, and the other thing. It's no problem with bribery, guys. Oh, you shouldn't bribe children. You should never use food as a bribe, ever, unless they've instigated it because you happen to be walking past an ice cream shop. You should never use food as bribe. You should never use food as a treat, all of those things. So that makes it hard to figure out how to deny things to people. Now, my parents couldn't. There were 4 of us, and we all had 50 cents on Sunday, and then it went down to 20 cents. So costs went up. So their money to us went down. And then, of course, my younger sister, I don't think she even got pocket money, because by the time they had 4 of them and we were older, they didn't have the money to give her pocket money. So none of us got pocket money, whereas my brother, of course, had got it till he was like 15, whereas my younger sister, I don't think ever got it. But being the youngest, they made up for it. But it's the same sort of thing. There's all of these money stories from growing up. And what did you learn growing up? What were some of the things that hold you back now from asking for money or paying for things? What is the value you see in things, right? So what is your ROI for that thing? I saw a photo of my sister. She was at a graduation? I think somebody's graduation, I think it was on Instagram. I saw her and my niece, and I looked at the dress she was wearing. I was like, oh, she wore that to my sister's wedding. She wore that to my brother's wedding. She wore that to, and I started going through all of the places that she'd worn this silk dress. And it's because she travels to the mall, silk scrunches up to nothing. So it's a brilliant dress to take. Then my younger sister in the chat, she said, wow, the ROI on this dress must be amazing, right? Or you could call it price per wear. I don't know how much that silk dress cost her back in the day, but she's worn it. And of course it's silk, so it's really strong and lasts forever. So her price per wear has probably come down to like 50 cents a time. You know what I mean? So what did we learn about money growing up? What are our feelings about money? And can we reframe how we feel about money? Acknowledging to ourselves the things that we say around money is how we learn what our conversations were as a child, how we learn to change our conversations now we're older, and how we learn to reframe that pricing ideal of what we pay to others and what we receive. How much can you invest in support? How much are you willing to pay someone? How much are you willing to raise your rates? Or is it that you realize, like I did recently, I haven't raised my rates, but at the same time, everything else is nibbling away, including the price of using Stripe, including credit card fees. All these things are nibbling away at how much I earn off everything I do. So can we raise our rates? Can we add that 1% if people use credit cards? how do we feel about investing in others? How do we feel about them investing in us? Now, who are your role models? When we think about role models, because I'm thinking we've got to shift that mindset, who can we look to shift that mindset? Who are our role models in money and spending? Okay, now it won't be someone in, say, government because they're looking in billions and trillions. It's going to be someone who's doing what we do, has done what we have done, and is that next step ahead of us. All right? Because when we shift our mindset, it helps support our clients. It helps with the value of their health investment as well. I don't know if there's any Americans listening, but in Australia and in New Zealand, things are priced very similarly. And health is something people value. They can get for free, but they can't get us for free because there is no system for that within the healthcare system. So we have to shift that mindset ourselves. We have to work on our mindset and figure out what our customers have got saying in their heads to be able to adjust our point of sale, to be able to adjust what they think, right? So when I first started out, I was like, you get your car serviced, what about your body? And that's kind of a yes, you'll service your car, but servicing your body is a totally different concept. People can't see that, right? It seems like such a good thing to say. But at the same time, I just took my car in for a service and it's getting new tires and they're going to last a really long time. And it got an oil change. So you can probably equate the oil change to a person dealing with their liver, but kind of not as well. So we've got to think about, well, how are they thinking about it once you've figured out how you're thinking about money and how that is affecting you and what you do. All right. So left you with a lot to think about, which brings us to the second half of our podcast. And this is like last week. Remember, we're going to do, I think, 4 in a row. I think 4's a nice number. We might do more. See how we go. I've done this before and I've had really good comments from people about it. And so if you're loving them, let me know. If you're not loving them, let me know, but don't let anyone else know. Just let them know that you're really loving it. So let's think about overcoming those money blocks. Let's have that short meditation. Now you know what to do. Driving a vehicle, chopping carrots, chopping anything. We're going to put those things down. We're going to pull the car over to the side of the road. We're going to be sensible because we're going to want to close our eyes. Okay. So let's get comfortable. Let's sit down and let's take a moment to soften. Soften the body. Soften the features of your face. Soften your jaw. Maybe wiggle your jaw. Stretch your neck. Wiggle your shoulders a bit. Take a moment to soften and relax. As you breathe in, gently bring to mind an image of someone you've helped, a client, a friend, someone who's benefited from your care. Take a deep breath in, breathing in calm and confidence, and breathing out anything you don't need in this time and this space as you think about that person that you've brought to mind. As you're breathing in and breathing out, feel the impact you've had, the transformation you've supported. That work really matters, what you've done with that person. You matter. You mattered to that person. You became their light, their support. They've thanked you for that support that you gave them. Breathe in, calm and confidence. And breathe out anything you don't need in this time and this space. Feel that transformation you helped them with. Feel their changes. Feel how they feel, how honored they feel to have worked with you, and how grateful they are to you for changing their lives. Breathing in and out. Now allow that same care, that same value to reflect back towards you. That same love, that same care enveloping you. You're not taking it from that person. You're just feeling the whole, feeling the capacity, feeling the reflection of what you've done and of what you're going to do, because you are allowed to be supported. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to receive in mind and in money. You are allowed to receive. I want you to silently repeat, I honor the value of my work. Take a deep breath in. I honor the value of my work. Another one as you breathe in and out. I will allow abundance to meet me. Breathe it in. I will allow abundance to meet me. Breathe it out and breathe it in. I trust in the exchange. And now I want you to repeat that as a whole sentence. I honor the value of my work. I allow abundance to meet me. I trust in the exchange. Take those deep breaths to ground your body, to allow the negative and the unnecessary to wash away as you breathe it out, and to be able to breathe in that line. I honor the value of my work. I allow abundance to meet me. I trust in the exchange. In a moment, but not just yet, I want you to return to clarity and calm. I want you to really feel right now the impact of those words. I want things to flow into you, and I want what you don't need to flow out of you. And those deep breaths, those inhales and exhales. Let's take that one last deep breath, grounding this in your body. And now it's time to return to clarity and calm and carry on with your day. I hope that's helped. Listen to it as many times as you want. I hope you have a beautiful rest of day. See you on the next one.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.